Welcome back to the Abundant Harvest Homestead. I'm Papa Pepper. Lately, life has been going about 128 miles an hour, and with good reason. The good reason is that you have to take advantage of opportunities as they happen. I was meaning to put together a much more entertaining video than the one I'm going to, but I lost a lot of footage because a SD card became corrupted. So a lot of this different stuff that I'm going to mention, I wanted to have clips of. I don't. Even my last video where I had the hay lean-to built, there was footage missing from that. Now I was able to still piece it together with the files I had to make a decent video, and you guys probably didn't even notice. And that's good. That's fine. That's awesome. But with this one, there's going to be some stuff lacking. When I do have some stuff, I will insert it. Again, that'll take more editing and stuff on this side of the camera, but it'll make a better video for you guys. So give this video a thumbs up if you do appreciate all the work we put into these videos. At the moment, I'm going to start a couple days ago, and I'm just going to kind of let you guys know and understand some of our life. So what happens is, in the spring of the year, since I now bow fish as a way to provide for my family, I like to fish, I like to hunt, I like to garden, I like to forage, and I do find different streams of income to purchase things too. You know, it's another way that I provide for my family. But the more things I can do outside of the job realm, the more I like it, because then I can do things with my family, with my children, with my wife, and generate, you know, provision for our family that way. So as the spring starts, I like to watch for when the suckers and the carp are going to spawn. And when they spawn, they come up into the shallows. At night, the suckers are running up the tributaries. The carp during the day a lot of times are up in the shallows thrashing around in very shallow water. Not too hard to hit with a bow. I only started a couple years ago, but it works really well. So Red Pepper and I went out the other night. Just like I like to keep fishing poles in my vehicle in case I get an opportunity, I like to keep bow fishing equipment, you know, a bow and an arrow and stuff like that in my vehicle too. Went down there, started looking around, saw some people fishing by a campfire across the way, saw a bow fishing boat, but we didn't see them doing anything. And we started seeing some cute little minnows and stuff, so we were just catching them by hand, playing around. And then I got to a spot that I like to bow fish, and I saw, wait a minute, there are suckers in here. So about that long of fish on average, and they were down in some deeper water, so it's harder to hit rather than when they're right at the surface because of refraction. So I was taking shots, missing more than I was hitting. Eventually we got to the rapids that they were running, and then they kind of hit a flat spot that leveled out, so we were shooting them through there. We were both, first I shot a bit, then I let her shoot a bit, then I rigged us both up where we were going for a bit, once I knew she could handle what she was supposed to do and do it safely. So by the end of the night we had a good pile of fish. We didn't start till 11 o'clock that night. I went out at 11 p.m. By the time I got done filleting all the fish and rinsing them off, cutting them into chunks, getting them ready for canning, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. Now right now we're on our third batch of pressure canning pint jars of the sucker. We do 16 per batch, 8 per layer, and already we have 32 that are done. It looks like there's probably gonna be about another 32 or so that we're gonna do. So there's one more batch left after this, and that's gonna put about 60 jars of canned fish, pint jars of canned fish, into our supply for the next year. And that's already. And that's only in 2 days worth of shooting. I'll get to that part of the story. So 5 o'clock, go to bed, sleep for a couple hours, wake up, start my day. Some friends were coming over because after our Buffalo kayak trip down the Buffalo River, both got into it, and we were looking around for some for our family. I already had a couple. He didn't. He already picked up one, and I was gonna head out the night before to their house the night before I got them, or sorry, past them a ways, and they're like, "Oh, hey, don't drive all the way out here just to get a couple kayaks. We can pick them up for you tomorrow." That night, I found where we could get some for $100 cheaper a piece. So by them offering to go for me the next day, that gave me an opportunity to save $300 on our end because I bought 3, and $200 on their end because they bought 2. I went and picked up 5. They were waiting to get them, and their kids kept asking, "When can we get them? When can we get them?" So they came over that following day. When they came over, we had lunch ready, a wonderful lunch, enjoyed a good meal together. Then we went out to the lake. I threw the 2 kayaks in the back of my truck because I could fit them, strapped the other 5 that I had on my trailer. They took off in their van, Mama Pepper took off in our van, I took off in the truck, went down there, I unloaded everything, sent a couple of little peppers out in some of ours, let him use one of our bigger ones so he could head out with a couple of his boys in their own kayaks and keep an eye on them. And while they were doing that, I began catching fish. Some of my kids were switching off catching fish with me, mostly bluegills, some of them were pretty decent. And then I did catch one nice sized bass. Nothing too major, but a good enough bass. So we kept those. Got about to be dark. Got to get off by dark. You know, we didn't have any lights on the kayaks. So I load everything up. We come back over here. They had a meal prepared that we just heated up for dinner. And Monster Truck, who is 8, he goes out in the dark by himself with these fish, and he heads and guts and scales them all and gets them all ready for eating. He cleaned all the fish except for the bass. I filleted that. Even at one point, the other mom was like, where's your son? And my wife's like, "Oh, he's outside, you know, cleaning the fish." She's like, "What, really?" Like, yeah, so our 8-year-old son is out there cleaning all the fish by himself. And I told him, I said, "You can come with me down to the lake tonight." I said, "And if I'll take care of all those fish." You know, when we were heading out for this kayak trip, I was just at the lake. I was heading back that following night because the suckers were still running. It wasn't really for me we were going to the lake. It was for my kids to try out some kayaks, his kids to try out some kayaks, families to have some fun together. But we caught some fish, so Monster Truck said, "Sure, I will clean up all these." He cleans them all up. They leave, and oh, that's the part. Monster Truck goes, "Let's give them to them." So we took all these fish that he just cleaned, that we just caught, and we sent them home with that family just to bless them with a meal. I don't know if it's enough of a meal for their family, but it was a good amount of fish. They also have a pond near them that they can catch a couple more if they need to make a whole meal out of it. But he spent all that time cleaning those and then says, "Let's give them to them." So we did. That was awesome. We go out to the lake and again, headed out late. We shot for a while. Some of the kids were getting pretty good at some stuff too, helping, and it was a lot of fun. Got home about the same pile of fish. Spent hours filleting them and getting them ready because I got to fillet each fish, then I got to rinse off each fillet, then I got to cut them all into cubes for canning. I got to bed about 3:30 that day. Next day I wake up and I was supposed to be getting some hay at some point. My friend said, "Hey, we could do it either this day or this day." So I was trying to call day A to set something up for B or C, and the guy goes, "Oh, you can't do it today?" Now I'm just up after another late night. And I'm like, "Hold on, check with my guy." We decided to rearrange a couple things. Like, yeah, okay, let's go. So we had about a 2-hour drive to get this hay. You saw it in the other video. If you saw it, just like 800-pound bales. We get there, get the hay, decided to stop at Bass Pro Shop on the way back, so I needed some more arrows. My friend who came with me decided to get a bow, and I said, "Hey, I already know you put in this much in gas, you're taking your whole day to kind of do this load for me. I'll give you this much towards the bow if you want to get one." he was looking at one anyway, so lightened the load, you know, the financial load off of him to get that one. He got one, and then we stopped and picked up a pallet for a different project. I'll leave that as a mystery for now. I got a pallet sitting over here for a pretty cool project. Hopefully it'll come up soon, but soon means like maybe next week. We'll see. By the time we made it back that night, it was like less than an hour to sundown. But at 9 o'clock, I was supposed to pick up a different friend who had never been bow fishing. He's a nice young man. I wanted to teach him this, show him the ropes. Here's one way that you can provide. And then my other friend who had just picked up his bow, who gave me the ride to get the hay, he was coming. So I go rush around, get the hay unloaded, get a couple things ready, rig up a couple bows, created one for the kids a little differently, which was exciting, and figured, okay, here we go. Go down to the place the guy works, pick him up. We get down to the lake, and they're in again. I first start showing him how to do it, and once he gets the hang of it, I start showing Pinky Pepper, reminding her how to do things. She starts shooting. Then I had one rigged up for Monster Truck. He starts shooting, and again, you got to space people out, but you're not shooting that far. We were doing it pretty wisely, and then my friend shows up. By that point, we've got fish in a couple different buckets. We're having a great time. I take him to a certain part. We start practice shooting for a bit. He sticks one. We go into some deeper water, and there was one that we had obviously shot at up here and hit and wounded, and it was farther downstream, so it wasn't really moving much. You could shoot arrows right next to it, and it was still kind of sitting there. So he got enough shots to practice shooting through the water, because it refracts, to stick them, and we started running for a bit. The one friend was so thankful for me taking him out and showing him, and also pitching in on a bow for him. He was like, I should have done this years ago. The young guy was like, this is one of the most fun experiences I've had in my entire life. He's like, I'm, you know, just shaking thinking about it. It was so much fun. Biggest fish he's ever got in his life. He was just blown away, and so just full of life and passion and zeal, and like, yeah, you know, this is awesome, which is great. Let him and Monster Truck kind of go off a couple times through the stream. Could we kind of drive them up, and then you get everything in front of you, and then they make a pass, and then the next people come, and it was a great night. We get home. I was gonna help my friend, my young friend. I was gonna send him home with half of whatever we got. My friend who came from, just picked up his bow and gave me the ride, I gave him half. I said, you know what, guys, I have 8-gallon freezer bags in my freezer or fridge right now that I need to can. I will just split these between you guys. So they each split them. I think they each took home like 22 or something like that. I said, let's go up. I said, I'm heading back to my place to flail his if you want to come. So help my young friend flay them all, help my other friend flay them up, sent them home with those, went and washed off all the ones for my my young friend, gave him a ride back home. By the time I got to bed that night, it was like 2:30 in the morning. Obviously, a lot of running around, a lot of different stuff. Actually, I guess giving fish to 3 different families, which was super cool. And by the time it looks like it, just out of those 2 days that I went with my children, we're gonna have about 60 pint jars. So I'm thinking those guys probably got maybe around a dozen to 15 each just for coming out that night. And of course, we had more shooters in my family, more experience, so they each got, you know, a couple. So we gave them definitely more than they shot, because we didn't keep any and we shot quite a few. But just what an experience, what a great way to go out there and do it. To share life with some people, to make memories, to have those experiences. And you know, if the fish aren't eating, there's certain ones you can just hunt. I love it, and they taste so good. We love them. A great way to provide for our family. And then, you know, I woke up the next day after that, and snow's coming, you know, rain's coming. I got this hay, I got to build this thing in one day. I ran into a lot of issues I did not address in the video. There was all sorts of stuff going wrong, but in the end I succeeded. I got it there, and you know, then today I pretty much took the day off. I can feel how tired I am in my body. I did not go out last night. it would have been like almost freezing temperatures. It probably wouldn't have been that good, but you have this desire just to go out and check it out. Plus, we got some stuff to prepare for this upcoming weekend, so that's what I've been doing. Actually harvested some horseradish right behind me here. Made some of that up for this weekend. Got a little bit of firewood for a fire we're gonna have. It's gonna be a very cool, special time this weekend, but that's some of the things we've been up to lately. A couple things that stuck out was just how much joy learning a new skill and providing for his family, because at this point he's providing for his mom and siblings and stuff like that. The young man, the other guy, just another way he can provide fish for his family. He knows fish is a great way to provide for your family, and to can a bunch up too, that's so awesome. Then that other situation where I have my 8-year-old son clean up all those fish, that blew me away. When I was young, my dad would not let us keep as many fish as we wanted to because he knew he'd have to clean them. I clean them too. I clean a lot of them. But to see my 8-year-old just do such a diligent task on that and then choose to take all the labor of his efforts and give them to somebody else to bless their family, that's, I find that to be a piece of evidence that in our parenting, there's something that's happening that's being passed on to the next generation, that we can raise them not only to be a blessing to us and a blessing to others, but a blessing to those they'll encounter in the future. And I hope it's that type of generosity and mentality and care and compassion and concern for others that he takes into his adult life and passes on to his children, because that was beautiful and amazing to see, and I really enjoyed that. So guys, that's been life lately. I've got to settle down a bit. Now I've got, what, 60 more cans, I'm saying, about that, of this canned sucker, plus more is coming. The carp haven't even started yet. Obviously, I've got my root cellar I've got to work on, and I plan on that, and I should be doing that soon. Plus, we've got a lot of garden stuff that we've got to be doing so that we can continue generate our own food, generate our own seeds, continue to generate our own harvest, fill that root cellar with, produce and stuff too. So I'm going to try hard not to overdo it, but I also want to take advantage of opportunities. Don't take advantage of people, take advantage of opportunities, and then bless others when you take advantage of those opportunities. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the story time. We'll be working some stuff and some videos coming up. I think you guys are gonna like it. Mama Pepper's been making some red bud jelly. If you're not familiar with what red buds are, or red bud jelly, you guys are gonna be excited about that. And I'll try to work a lot more family into a lot more videos so you get less of this and more of all that we have to offer. I'll see you next time. Papa out.
Thank you for watching.